Welcome to our weird world, where each week we gather around the bonfire to uncover the world's most fascinating legends and mysteries. Tonight, we bring you the story of the phantom trick-or-treater. So sit back, relax, and let the flames of our virtual campfire keep your jack-o'-lantern lit all night long. On a chilly Halloween night, when the winds rustle through the trees and the leaves crunch underfoot, children don their costumes and roam the streets in search of candy and fun. But in one small town, far removed from the bustling cities, there is an old, forgotten tale that every parent whispers to their children in the hopes that they will heed the warning and return home before the sun sets. The story is about a mysterious visitor, only known as the phantom trick-or-treater, a ghostly figure who appears on Halloween night, wandering from house to house in search of more than just candy. Some say he is a lost soul, cursed to forever seek what he can never have, while others believe he is a vengeful spirit, punishing those who fail to respect the traditions of Halloween. His story is passed down from generation to generation, a local legend that refuses to die, much like the spirit himself. To the townsfolk, the phantom trick-or-treater is more than just a ghost story. It is a reminder that on Halloween night, there are darker forces at play, and one should always be careful of what lurks in the shadows. In the heart of the countryside, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, lies a quiet town with a deep-rooted history. The town is not remarkable in any way except for its unwavering commitment to Halloween. Every year, the townspeople go to great lengths to decorate their homes with jack-o'-lanterns, string up cobwebs, and fill the air with the scent of spiced cider. The streets are lined with scarecrows, and the town square is filled with the sounds of laughter and excitement as children parade through the streets in their costumes. Halloween in this town is more than just a holiday. It is a time-honored tradition, one that dates back to the town's founding over a century ago. According to local lore, the tradition began as a way to ward off evil spirits that were believed to roam the land on All Hallows Eve. The townspeople believed that by dressing in costumes and lighting candles and hollowed-out pumpkins, they could confuse the spirits and keep them at bay. Over time, these customs evolved into the modern celebration of Halloween, but the underlying sense of superstition remained. It was in this town, so steeped in Halloween tradition, that the legend of the phantom trick-or-treater was born. The story begins many years ago, in the early 1900s, on a particularly cold and windy Halloween night. The town was alive with the sounds of children running from house to house, their bags growing heavier with each piece of candy they collected. The wind howled through the streets, rattling the shutters of old houses and sending a shiver down the spines of anyone brave enough to be out after dark. At the edge of the town, there stood an old house, a large, imposing mansion that had long been abandoned. Its windows were boarded up, its shutters hung askew, and its garden had long since been overtaken by weeds. The children of the town had always avoided the house, for it was said to be haunted by the ghost of its former owner, a reclusive man who had died under mysterious circumstances. But on this particular Halloween, something strange happened. As the evening wore on and the last of the trick-or-treaters made their way home, one of the town's residents, Mrs. Abigail Fisher, noticed a figure standing at the gate of the old mansion. The figure was dressed in a ragged, tattered costume, a faded black cloak with a hood that obscured his face. In one hand, he held a small, worn-out pumpkin pail, and in the other, a crooked cane. Mrs. Fisher watched as the figure slowly approached her house. At first, she thought it was just one of the children playing a prank, but as the figure drew closer, she felt a chill run down her spine. There was something off about this trick-or-treater, something unnatural. The figure stopped at her front door and knocked 3 times, each knock slow and deliberate. Mrs. Fisher hesitated for a moment, but then, out of a sense of politeness, she opened the door. "Trick or treat," came the figure's voice, a low, rasping whisper that seemed to echo in the air. Mrs. Fisher, still unnerved, reached into her candy bowl and dropped a piece into the figure's pumpkin pail. But instead of turning to leave, the figure remained standing on her doorstep, staring at her with hooded, unseen eyes. "Is there something else you need?" Miss Fisher asked, her voice trembling slightly. The figure tilted his head ever so slightly, and for a moment Mrs. Fisher thought she saw something flicker in the darkness beneath the hood, a faint, ghostly glow. Then, without a word, the figure turned and slowly walked away, disappearing into the night. Over the next few years, more and more townspeople began to report similar encounters. Each Halloween, the phantom trick-or-treater would appear at the homes of those who stayed out too late or didn't participate in the Halloween festivities. His appearance was always the same: tattered cloak, hooded face, and the same eerie, rasping voice. But it wasn't just his appearance that unsettled the townspeople. It was what followed. Those who received a visit from the phantom trick-or-treater would soon experience a string of misfortunes. Crops would fail, livestock would fall ill, and strange, unexplainable accidents would occur. One year, a young boy who had refused to give the phantom candy fell mysteriously ill the next morning and never recovered. Another year, a family who had forgotten to light a jack-o'-lantern in front of their home found their house burned to the ground the very next day, with no explanation as to how the fire started. The town was gripped with fear, and soon a new tradition was born. Every Halloween, the townspeople would make sure to leave out a piece of candy on their doorstep, a kind of offering to appease the phantom trick-or-treater. Parents would tell their children the story, warning them to always respect the traditions of Halloween, lest they invite the wrath of the phantom. As with all legends, there are many theories about who or what the phantom trick-or-treater truly is. Some believe he is the spirit of a boy who died tragically on Halloween night many years ago, his soul cursed to roam the earth in search of the candy he was never able to collect. Others believe he is a vengeful ghost, seeking revenge on those who disrespect the spirit of Halloween. One of the most popular theories is that the phantom is the ghost of the reclusive man who once lived in the abandoned mansion. According to town records, the man had been an eccentric and solitary figure, known for his hatred of children and his disdain for the Halloween festivities. He had lived alone in the mansion for many years, and it was said that he had died on Halloween night under mysterious circumstances. Some claimed that his spirit had never passed on, and that he had become the phantom trick-or-treater, causing those around him to partake in the festivities, only in death realizing that his life may have been saved had he just participated in the holiday. But the truth of the phantom's identity remains a mystery. No one has ever seen his face, and no one has ever dared to follow him when he disappears into the night. The only certainty is that he returns every Halloween without fail to remind the town of his presence. Even in modern times, the legend of the phantom trick-or-treater persists. Though the town has grown and changed over the years, with new houses and new families moving in, the phantom still makes his rounds every Halloween. Some claim that he has even begun to venture outside of the town, visiting nearby neighborhoods where the Halloween spirit has waned. In recent years, there have been reports of strange happenings in other towns or cities. Stories of the ghostly trick-or-treater who knocks on doors late at night, always dressed in a tattered cloak with a pumpkin pail in hand, have begun to surface. Those who encounter him describe the same unnerving feel of dread, the same low, rasping voice, and the same string of misfortunes that follow his visit. Whether the phantom trick-or-treater is a spirit tied to one town or a more widespread entity is still unknown, but one thing is certain. His legend continues to grow, and as Halloween approaches, the stories of his appearances spread like wildfire. As this Halloween draws near, parents in the town still gather their children close and tell them the story of the phantom trick-or-treater. They warn them to always respect the traditions of Halloween, to never take the holiday lightly, and to always leave an offering of candy at the door, just in case. For those who forget or choose to ignore the warnings, the consequences can be dire. It is said that if the phantom trick-or-treater comes to your door and you do not give him what he seeks, he will return, but not for candy. Instead, he will take something far more precious and something that can never be replaced. And so, each year, as the sun sets and the streets fill with costumed children, the townspeople hold their breath, hoping that they will not be the ones to receive a visit from the phantom trick-or-treater. But in the dark of the night, when the winds howl and the shadows grow long, there is always that faint, eerie knock at the door, a knock that sends shivers down your spine and reminds you that on Halloween, not all visitors are of this world. The phantom trick-or-treater is out there wandering the streets, waiting for the moment when someone forgets to leave out a treat. And when that moment comes, you'd better hope it's not your door he knocks on next. Use caution, for on Halloween night, anything is possible, and the spirits of the past come out to play. Whether you believe in the tale or not, one thing is for certain. On Halloween night, when the moon is full and the air is thick with the scent of autumn, it is always best to be prepared for the unexpected. After all, you never know who or what might come knocking at your door. As we leave you here, remember, the legends of our weird world are boundless. If you've enjoyed the stories, please share, like, and subscribe to our channel for more content. Your support enables us to keep these stories alive. Until next time, stay curious and beware the hooded figure in the late night rap at your door.